Such an old country boy like me can't hack. It's early to rise, early in the sack. I thank God I'm a country boy.
I'm Jason Akers. Welcome back to our channel, Rocky Knob Farm. Today we're on another field trip. We're going to learn about sheep and goats at Rolling Acres Farm in Pritchard.
I'm Farmer Finn. We're here at Gary Napper's.
Farmer Finn, you here to see about the sheep and goats today?
Yeah.
Well, we have Katahdin sheep, and they're a hair sheep. That means they don't have wool, they have hair. And in the spring, they'll shed off. We don't have to shear them. And they don't have horns, so they don't get caught in the fence. So that's one of the reasons we chose these sheep. They're easier to take care of. We got them to clear the brush and the fence rows so we don't have to use a weed eater. And 3 of them here are going to be having babies probably in March.
Is it true that they actually have 2?
Yeah, usually the first time they have them, a lot of times they have 1. And then after that, they usually have twins, sometimes triplets. Do you know what the baby sheep are called?
What?
Lambs. Do you know what the male sheep are called?
Lambs.
That's it. And the mommies are ewes. So you got rams and ewes and then lambs. You'll have to come back over and see us when the babies get here.
So, Gary, what do you feed sheep?
We feed alfalfa pellets and a sweet feed mix that's pellets that's for sheep and goats. Because certain feed you can't give to goats and certain feed you can't give to sheep. So I get something that they can both have since we run them together.
So, Gary, what is this?
That is an insulated bucket holder. And this was a horse stall before we converted it over for the sheep and goats. And you put a bucket down in this and it keeps the water from freezing in the winter. Do you see that little container there on the wall?
Yeah.
You know what that is?
What?
That's for their minerals. That's that red stuff. It's like a salt. And then the white stuff is baking soda. And that helps with the sheep so they don't get indigestion.
I know what you mean, Gary. We have to thaw water out for our animals every day.
Yeah, we have to chop ice if it freezes out on the big troughs. But in here, that keeps it from freezing, so it's pretty handy.
Farmer Finn's trying to sneak up on them and pet them a little bit. In this case, I don't know who's more scared of who.
So, Gary, what's the best thing about raising sheep?
Well, they're pretty easy to take care of, and we run them where the cattle been. So the cattle eat the grass, then the sheep and the goats come in and eat what the cattle don't eat. So it helps take care of the pasture. And since we already had the goats, I thought we'd try the sheep as well, because they'll graze a little closer and eat things that the goats don't.
Our Anatolian Shepherd puppy. He's learning to protect the sheep and goats. He's our guardian dog.
So now we're moving on to goats.
So, Gary, why does one have only 1 horn?
Well, remember I talked about we chose sheep that didn't have horns?
Yeah.
Well, I don't like horns on the goats either because they get caught in the fence. So we got these as adults. So we put a band on their horn down near the base, and then eventually that horn will fall off. So she's lost 1 and she has 1 more to go. And then she won't have any horns. They won't grow back. And it'll be safer. She won't get caught in the fence. That's a good question.
What is a female goat called?
They called a doe, or some people call them a nanny.
I know what a boy goat's called.
What do you call it?
A buck.
A buck, and some people call it a billy.
What's
It's
a
the
baby
same.
goat called?
They're called a kid. Did you know that?
No.
Yep, they're called a kid.
you get into goats?
Well, it's hard to get people to weed eat. Nobody likes that job. So I got the goats and the sheep so they would do the weed eating for me. I put up electric netting near the woven wire fence, and then they graze and eat the briars and the brush up near the fence. So hopefully I don't have to do as much weed eating.
I'm gonna give you a tour of their feed room. This is where they keep their food. They also keep feed back here, and this is the dog feed. Well, Gary, we appreciate you having us here today.
You're quite welcome, and when the babies come, I'll give you a call, and you'll have to come back out and see the babies.
Okay.
All right. I'd like to encourage our Wayne County youth to think about a animal project. They could be taken with the 4-H club and then taken to the Wayne County Fair and shown. They've had cattle, rabbits, chickens in the past, and they're certainly open to taking sheep or goats if someone would want to.
Special thanks to Gary and Dorothy Napper for having us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and it'll let you know when we post new videos.